Well, Chris seems to me to be a guy who's wealthy. He'll get good legal representation. There he is in full WWE.
He might as well tear that shirt off in the heat of the moment. Let me tell you something. Let me get something out to all the Sky boys out in Ontario. No, I love Chris. He's a super nice guy, too.
He is a super nice guy. He has absolutely no malice, by the way, about the police who charged him.
Yes, he makes sure to go out of his way to talk them up.
But it's almost as though, Andrew, he almost put the authorities in a corner by the fact that he was so openly flaunting that he didn't abide by the law. So they didn't know what to. Maybe they're going to just give him a slap on the wrist.
Gordon Smith, $20. Does Rebel have an opinion on what will happen to Chris Sokocia and his wife, a.k.a. Chris Sky, and Jenny, or Jennifer, you would call her the lovely Miss Jenny. Like she's
the lovely Miss Jenny.
Like they're a WWE couple, essentially.
I do get that vibe, and when I interview them, I feel like Mean Gene Okerlund sometimes. But you know, folks, just
great promos.
Tease an upcoming video. I think it's going to come out tomorrow. Chris and the lovely Miss Jenny were right here in the studio yesterday. I interviewed them for a good 20 minutes, and please tune into that. They are going to fight this, and they're going to base it, their argument, when they get a lawyer, that is, on a constitutional challenge of the Quarantine Act. I don't know how that's going to go. I'm not a lawyer myself, but their first appearance, their first appearance is November 12th, and you can bet we'll be covering that case. I mean, it comes down to this. What Chris and Jenny did is that they openly bragged, even in the media, about breaking quarantine. I can tell you, folks, that ever since the pandemic began, and I have gone to the airport several times to prove this, our borders were never shut down. We even had 5 to 10 flights from China per day coming into the country. And basically, the question is, are you going to quarantine yourself for 14 days? You promise? Pinky swear? And people say, yeah. How many of those people, Andrew, do you think abided by that rule? There's no way of knowing. I would guess it's in the thousands. Chris and Jenny's sin seemed to be, as far as I can tell, that they honestly admitted, yeah, we broke quarantine. And there's no medical reason for us to be in quarantine. So we're going to see how that plays out. I think this might be the state trying to make an example out of Chris and the lovely Miss Jenny.
Well, let me tell you something, Menzoid. Look how fly Chris Sky looks in that. He's got a nice sweater and jacket on, and she's got the... I love headbands. Headbands, I don't like most fashion coming back, but headbands coming back I'm okay with.
They are a good-looking couple, and I asked Miss Jenny what she was going to wear in court, and she said she's obsessed with that idea.
It's virtual court, David. Control yourself.
That's right, it is virtual. Right?
I think that I'm hoping that this is the trial everybody wants that will set a precedent for everybody else. There's other people out there that email us, Trudeau's ankle monitor, Trudeau was served by this guy, how come you didn't cover Norm more? But I'm hoping that this is the one where we can actually set precedent, because Chris Guy does know what he's talking about. I heard, if anyone's got a clip of him on CP24, we were having trouble finding that one, send that to us. tips@rebelnews.com or something to that regard. You can email me, Andrew says at rebelnews.com, because they let him go on live apparently, which is a huge mistake. Too much truth there. News Talk 1010 let him go off, and I was very surprised with it. And,
it is something, but you know, the ominous thing about this, Andrew, is the potential maximum penalty for this couple, which is $1 million in fines and a year in jail. So I don't know. I wouldn't be. I'd be going to bed sweating a little bit if that was what I was facing. But you know, I think Chris seems to me to be a guy who's wealthy. He'll get good legal representation. There he is in full WWE.
He might as well tear that shirt off in the heat of the moment. Let me tell you something. Let me get something out to all the Sky boys out in Ontario. No, I love Chris. He's a super nice guy, too.
He is a super nice guy. He has absolutely no malice, by the way, about the police who charged him.
Yes, he makes sure to go out of his way to talk them up.
But it's almost as though, Andrew, he almost put the authorities in a corner by the fact that he was so openly flaunting that he didn't abide by the law. So they didn't know what to. Maybe they're going to just give him a slap on the wrist.
CBC was printing stuff, just basically crying about it. So that's probably where that comes from.
Yeah.
Oh, why won't you arrest him? Why aren't the authorities doing it? Because nobody cares. That's why.
You know, that was
Skywriters, would that be a good name for his wrestling followers? Let me shout out to all my Skywriters.
Well, you know, and that was the other thing about the CBC article, is that it said Chris Sky, he's also known to publish bogus mask exemption cards. What's a bogus mask exemption card? I forgot to wear my badge today, folks, my little yellow mask exemption bag. But the fact of the matter is, you can go on to the website of the Toronto Transit Commission.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, and get a printout saying I'm exempt. Why? How is that any different than somebody just handwriting something on a sticker and saying I'm exempt? So you could see how there it is. You can see how the CBC is playing its cards.
That writer, that guy, that's the guy whose tears were hitting his keyboard as he typed this.
Oh, look, it says Adam Carter is a Newfoundlander, so I guess it is Newfoundlander, not Newfie, right?
I don't think CBC would be brave enough.
If the Mother Corp is saying that's how you respond to somebody from Canada's glorious eastern province.
All hail CBC. Chris Sky did mean things. He's like 2 sentences away from saying, I hope they all get COVID.
And by the way, if you want, he will not, I should point this out, he's off somewhere this Saturday, so he won't be at the Yahoo Nation protest on Saturday at noon at Yonge Dundas Square.
You killed their turnout. What's wrong with you?
Well,
Chris Sky could be there.
Maybe if he's restricted from traveling, he's not going anywhere, but we'll be there to cover the most recent protest, and I'll be handing out some of those mask exemption buttons to any who wants it.
They go like hotcakes.
Yeah, we had a very generous donor buy a few thousand of those folks, and there it is. Isn't that beautiful? It's to ward off all the Karens out there. You know, all those people that come up to you in a mall or a supermarket, and they don't even have to say it sometimes, Andrew. Do you ever get the stink eye? Like, they're looking at you like you're a
mask in months.
Oh yeah, and you're treated like you're the second coming of Typhoid Mary, for goodness sakes. But anyways, that's a $10 value. I'll be handing those out for free yet again, because they did cancel the Santa Claus parade, but I don't know what the status is on Halloween, so it'll be early shell out. By the way, on the topic of the Santa Claus parade, Chris Sky, if you can imagine, this is what a character he is.
He is going to play Santa Claus?
He is organizing, Andrew,
oh my God,
a Santa Claus parade for Saturday, December 5th. At Nathan Phillips Square at 12 noon. And basically, this is ingenious.
That's breaking news.
Well, you remember how we went down there and the city allowed for 3 whole weeks, folks, those thugs comprising Afro-Indigenous Rising to camp out on the square, breaking 11 sections of the Trespass Act. Well, if John Tory's fine with that, how can he be against a Santa Claus parade on Nathan Phillips Square?
Can't hate Santa Claus.
That's an excerpt from my daily TV show that I do live at 12 noon Eastern Time. We talk about the news of the day, we play interesting viral videos, and most importantly, I take your questions that you chat to me through YouTube Super Chat. I think that's the funnest part of it. So tune in every weekday at 12 noon Eastern Time, only here at rebelnews.com.